So in this video, we're going to talk about United States Air Force Enlisted Aircrew School, what it takes to fly as an enlisted aviator here in the United States Air Force, and all that it entails. So for me, I knew I wanted to fly from a very young age. I knew I wanted to put on a flight suit before I could even remember. I'll put a picture right here to show you. I've wanted to wear a flight suit forever. So, basically, I knew I wanted to fly. I said, I'm not joining the military unless I can wear a flight suit. And I said, what gives me the best chance to put on a flight suit, guaranteed, no unknown, not getting put in security forces? What gives me the best shot to do what I want to do? And that was the Air National Guard. So I started looking for Air National Guard positions. And let me tell you, very few recruiters know anything about the aircrew life. I luckily found a recruiter that he didn't know much about it, but he worked his butt off to get me what I wanted because I made it clear to him there was going to be no other job for me. He contacted bases from Georgia to Kentucky, North Carolina, out to like Indiana. It was crazy. He worked his butt off for me. Luckily, I found a job in my home state, Georgia, flying with the J-Stars as a aircrew member with the J-Stars in Georgia. And so he sent in my resume. A lot of people don't know is the Air National Guard is really like civilian life as far as you find a job and you apply for the job. You interview for the job. You meet the requirements, but they want to know how you are as a person as well. Are you going to be successful? Are you worth their investment? So I interviewed for the job. They somehow liked me enough to take me, which baffles me. Then after that, I had to come back and do my flight physical, which they do next, because that is like the #1 thing that washes people out. So why would they spend a lot of money on you if you're just going to end up failing the flight physical? So they knock that out first. After my flight physical, which we can talk about in another video if y'all want, basically waited a few months. Everything was great. I had a really clean sheet. They sent me through, and from there I enlisted. After I swore in, I began to go to monthly drills in the state of Georgia. I was currently living in Tampa, Florida, which you can see in my last video. So I would drive 5 hours to drills just for 1 week in a month. Basically, that entails is learning how to march, learning customs and courtesies of the Air Force, getting in process. So basically, another advantage of the Air National Guard is you've already got all your paperwork out of the way. So when you go to basic training, all you have to do is your shots. Like everything else is done. You've got your CAT card already. If you've got a spouse, they can get their CAT card already. So basically, you hit the ground running, and it's such an advantage when you take all that stress and you get it out of the way up front. I recommend it to anyone. And so once you get here to aircrew school out of basic training, it's intense. It is one of the hardest academic courses in the United States enlisted career field. It is drinking from a fire hydrant, and I went to school to be an aircraft mechanic, and I thought that was difficult. This is difficult because you're learning 300 to 400 terms a week and then testing on them. You're learning procedures. We do hypoxia training, which is basically where they take us to his chamber and they depressurize it to about 25,000 feet, flight level 250, and they make you take your mask off and you experience the side effects of hypoxia, which is, people surprisingly fail that and they get washed out. There's a lot of hoops to jump through to be successful as an aircrew member, but don't let how many steps there are or how hard it's going to be deter you from living a really, really cool life in the military. Aircrew is probably the most coveted position in the military, if not the most coveted position in the military. You get here, like I said, lots of terms, lots of hard, difficult tests, but it's really cool to push yourself academically and see how far you can come. I'm practically done. I have 2 blocks left, and they're just hands-on stuff that it's really just paperwork. So you can do it. You just have to know what you want to do and be patient enough to work for it. Endure the bull crap for now, because there's a lot of bull crap. There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of bureaucracy, but that's any government institution. You just have to keep in mind your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, and that's going to pull you through at the end of the day. So next stop for me from here is SEER School, which is resistance training, where they teach you how to survive if you were to crash in an enemy airspace, which should be interesting. Basically, it's running through the woods, learning what to eat, what not to eat, and how to resist people trying to get information out of you that aren't your friends. So I'll make a video about that if y'all want after SEER training. So, like I said, apply, ASVAB, MEPS, flight physical, enlistment, BMT, aircrew school, SEER school, and then you have your initial qualifying training and your mission training, and then from there you're ready for deployment. It's a lot of steps, but it is super worth it. So far, it's annoying, and some days I wake up and regret my decisions to do it. But most days I wake up and I'm really proud of what I've accomplished. So if y'all have any specific questions, please feel free to ask me. But this is aircrew school here at the 344th at Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, and yeah. So I think that's all I got for this video. But thank everybody for watching, and if y'all have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, guys.